Welcome back to the Lost Library and the continuing story of the life and suffering of Sir Brante. We are now 14 years old and we're in the adolescence stage. We just learned of a secret love affair with our half-brother Stefan, who happens to be a nobleman, and we promised to keep it as a secret. So here we are. We're now into the 14th year of Jack Brante. Let's continue. The Fugitive Girl. Grandfather's passing and last respects have left a mark on the entire family. His words, relayed from the hereafter, keep echoing in your mind. You still do your best to avoid the memory of grandfather's last night and spend more time on the city streets with Thomas and your other classmates. The road by the house reminds you of another clash with death. Sometimes, as you walk along that road, you recall Sophia, the beautiful girl with the wonderful eyes and the terrifying, thundering hooves. You've not seen Sophia since that fateful day. The children who live nearby say her parents sent her to a rich Arcanian family, the Ottons, as a servant. The sun has set. The pillar shines palely in the dark sky. Thomas is ill, so you decide to visit him and tell him the latest news. The streets seem oddly agitated tonight, full of horses, cloaked men, strange faces, and hushed voices. A young nobleman in a heavy embroidered cloak is walking back and forth, clutching at his sword nervously. There is a grimace of rage on his delicate blue face. He is an Arcanian. You overhear voices. Sir Rotten. The girl's not at home. We searched the house. Her parents swear she ran away from home, too. They claim they wanted to bring her back. Dorius Autumn. Just do whatever it takes. Turn this loathsome district upside down if you must, but bring my servant back to me. She's here. Sophia? Ran away from an Arcanian? How can this be? There's only one place on the entire street where a person could hide. The abandoned Moral House, 4 houses away from yours. You head there, doing your best not to attract attention. The lopsided house built of yellow brick has been abandoned for 20 years or so. You remember playing there as a boy. You glimpse a figure inside even before you enter. A pair of eyes glimmer in the dark. You would recognize them even after another 4 years. Sophia has grown up. She is almost an adult now, and her face is full of fear. She is not the easygoing girl next door that you remember. She finally recognizes you. Oh, it's you, Jack? Be quiet. They're all looking for me. I ran away from the youngest Autumn. I might be in for a lesser death here, but I'd rather die than spend another day in their slavery. I'm just a thing to him, just a toy to play with. Sophia winces and closes her mouth as she says this. There's a glint of bright yellow deep in her eyes. I ran to my parents. I told them all about the men I had to serve, and they went and alerted the Ottons. They don't want to be the target of their ire, but you aren't going to tip them off, are you? The barking and shouting are getting closer. Sophia's voice grows quiet. She runs off to the darkest corner of the house before you can answer. One of Otton's servants is so close you can hear his cloak swishing against the ground. He notices something and calls for the others. There are more voices around you now. They approach the house from the yard and surround it. One of them seems particularly snappy, annoyed, and impatient. You have already heard this voice today. It's Dorius. If you're in there, girl, you'd be wise to come out and quit wasting my time. All will be forgiven, and you will go back to where you were. You know it. And if you don't, I'll drag you out by the hair. The hilt of the young Arachnean's sword bashes at the door. He is about to lose his patience for good. Sophia hugs the wall in the dark, trying to stay still. She glances at you. What will you do? Your heart is racing. Can you act against the Arachnean's orders? Do you have the gall to defy the mighty nobleman? Oh, look at this. We don't have the option. We don't have the oh, we could hide alone. Okay, we could hide alone, or we could bring Sophia back to Aten. The Arachnean is within his rights. You will render him a service if you help him capture her. Hide alone. Things have become too dangerous. You are not able to influence the fate of Sophia. Well, I didn't like what I heard about how she's being treated. That's for sure. She's definitely being mistreated. I can't help her flee, but I can hide alone. So things have become too dangerous. You're not able to influence the fate of Sophia. Well, if I hide alone, there's always a chance. Well, they're gonna find her anyway. Yeah, they're gonna find her anyway. Another decision to make here. Okay, we're gonna bring Sophia back to Aten. This is a little bit different, but we're gonna go in this direction. We're gonna bring Sophia back to Aten. She's not gonna be happy with this. She's not gonna be happy with this. Look, if I hide alone, things have become too dangerous. You're not able to influence the fate of Sophia. I don't think she is hidden enough to escape. I don't think so. I think she's going to be caught. I mean, she's hiding in the corner, and the Arachneans are already at the door of the house she's hiding in. It makes no sense. So if I hide and I'm caught... I'm sorry, Sophia. I am so sorry, but you've got to go back to Aten. Oh, wow. You pull yourself together and walk slowly to the half-collapsed doorway. Sophia stands behind. The tall young Arachnean stares you down, his condescending smile dripping with scorn. Your hand raises to point at Sophia's hiding place. Aten nods, satisfied. Then he steps inside, his fingers on the hilt of his sword. You follow him in tow. A silhouette runs in front of you. Sophia? You hear a high-pitched scream of rage. A golden light blinds you. A flash, so bright it rends you from the inside. There is another voice in your head now, booming, screaming, "Halt! Freeze! Drop!" You lose control of your body, your arms and legs. You collapse at the Arachnean's feet. Sophia uses this moment of confusion to run past the nobleman and out through the door. Aten steps over you, cursing, and runs after her. You hear noises from the other side of the wall, running, screaming, and orders to give chase. You lie there on a pile of old bricks, completely unable to move. Slowly the stupor leaves you. Finally, your knees can bend again. You get to your feet, swaying, and walk out of the abandoned house. The young Arachnean is standing in the doorway, shaking his head in frustration. So Dorius says she's a witch, is she? Well, I'll be. What a fascinating lass. I knew I chose her for a reason. Ah, there you are, youngster. So how did you like your first brush with magic? Tell me your name, and worry not, you have my thanks. You tremble as you introduce yourself to Dorius Aughton. You will go far, young Brante. You know your loyalties. You walk back home, lost in thought. Sophia is a witch? You recall how it felt, how her magic bound you by the arms and legs, how it took away all control over your body, how it made you lose the will to move. But that spell, you could sense something personal in the way it struck you. Was it hatred? The runaway girl becomes the talk of your district for an entire week. You overhear that Sophia managed to flee the city. The Aughtons are furious. After this sudden appearance, she disappears from your life once more. You will not see her again until much, much later. Okay, so Sophia's relations definitely went down. -2, merciless. After what you did, Sophia realized that the entire world hates her and she will respond in kind. Oh, wow. Yeah, that could have been a big, big mistake. Big mistake. Relations go up with Dorius Aughton. Okay. Okay. Guess that can't be a bad thing. Huh. Interesting. All right, we're at year 1133. Marching forward. Summer. The Blood-Stained Sermon. You are about to turn 15, just one step away from adulthood. Mother is acting anxious at dinner today, barely touching her food. You exchange glances with Gloria. She carefully tells you that she wants to go to the tailor. Mother shudders, and her hands clench into fists. No, don't you dare leave home today. I forbid it. That dirty heretic Fotis is preaching his lies under the silver tree today. Twins willing? I don't want you to hear any of that. You and Gloria glance at each other again. Fotis, he is a patriarch, the head of the clergy throughout the entire province. That is the first time you've heard Mother speak like this about a priest, especially such a high-ranking one. Once you leave the dinner table, Gloria comes to your room with a cunning expression on her face. She's about to play a trick on someone. She has a plan. The two of you should sneak out of the house and go to the silver tree. You simply must hear that sermon for yourself. What's so bad about Patriarch Fotis? Why does Mother hate him so much? You two are grown-ups now. Surely you have the right to know. You agree with your sister. Together, you sneak out from under your mother's watchful eye and hurry to the silver tree. The temple block is full of people from all ranks and estate. There is barely enough room for you to squeeze through the crowd. The crowd is gathered around the very roots of the tree. Gloria suggests that you climb up to the roof of the nearby building so you can hear and see everything better. And not a moment too soon. From the roof you see a tall, silver-haired priest step onto the platform by the tree, dressed in the common black robe that looks far beneath his rank. Yet he stands like a noble before the crowd. Behind his back is a banner flapping in the wind, the open book. This is the symbol of the new faith, the crowd whispers. The patriarch holds his hands up to the sky, and the entire temple block grows quiet. He begins his sermon, his vibrant voice rolling across the square. Fotis speaks of a great mistake. Patriarch Fotis. We entrusted ourselves to the lots as the only way to fulfill divine providence in this world. But for all these years, the will of the twins has been interpreted for us by a single man, Prophet Isatias. The twins are ever watching from atop the shining pillar. Of this we have no doubt. But how can we be so blindly believe that we truly follow their will by following the lots? Have we not seen the 3 lots of Isatias fail again and again to answer the question of how we ought to live our lives? Have we not seen people change their lot in life again and again without being smitten by divine wrath? Every person born, whether human or Archnean, low-born or noble, must find their lot and their way to the gods on their own. From now on, we will seek the gods in the accounts of their own lives, in their own acts in this world, and their own words as they echo within us. And, as we heed the voice of the twins within, we will each find their path for us on our own. The crowd at the Silver Tree listens to the Patriarch's speech in stunned silence. You glance at your sister. Her eyes glisten with tears as she hears Photis's words. Then, suddenly, a hoarse cry rises from the crowd. If there are no lots, does that mean the nobles are going to till the fields and the commoners are going to bear arms? The crowd begins to murmur. The Patriarch raises an arm and inhales, ready to answer. An odd figure leaps from the crowd onto the platform. A dirty beggar dressed in rags. A knife flashes in his hand. The blade slices. Blood starts spurting from Photis's throat. He slumps over and collapses. A dark brown puddle spreads across the platform where he had stood. Gloria clutches her mouth to suppress a shriek. A few moments of stunned silence, and then the screams begin. The people are frantic. The temple guards try restore order in the crowd, but to no avail. An old woman dressed in an inquisitor's cassock tries in vain to apply pressure to the Patriarch's wound. The nobles draw their swords. Dogs are barking. The crowd is pushing and shoving. Children are crying. The entire square by the tree is in chaos. From the roof, you see the moment when people start trampling each other, howling, praying, shouting. Gloria tugs on your sleeve. Time to go. You climb down from the roof and run. You return home without exchanging a word. Mother has been in her room all the while, so no one noticed your absence. Gloria locks herself in her room. You do not discuss the things you have just seen. They are too frightening. But your parents discuss every little detail of the blood-stained sermon over dinner. Oh, this is unbelievable. A patriarch murdered in plain sight. The gendarmes and the Archduke's guards have searched every corner of the slums, and the murderous beggar has disappeared without a trace. I can't even imagine a more gruesome crime. Photis has died a true death, never to return from the hereafter. But how? Why can't the Patriarch be reborn? He's so close to the twins. Such is the way of the world, my children. Once you are granted great power by the twins' will, there's no hope for you to come back, not even after the first of your deaths. Emperors, their powerful vassals, heads of great Archnean dynasties, patriarchs of the church, none of them are destined to be reborn. Mother speaks. Photis is gone forever. I fear for his soul. It was lost in doubt. Will the twins accept him upon the peak of the pillar? We must pray for the Patriarch. Children, Let us hope he managed to return to the true old faith before the moment of his passing. But there is little hope for that. Year 1133, summer, the blood-stained sermon. So church, okay, so we have old faith. Our church rating is increasing, as is our order. We're now discontent. Okay. No, we lost one. We lost one in the order. Okay, that's right. Yeah, that would make sense. All right, let's continue. The last night. Tomorrow, you turn 16. According to imperial law, you will be a full adult. Your time at Sir Tibor's school has ended. You have studied enough to apply for the Imperial College and learn the judge's trade there. You are to travel to Eterna tomorrow. Your friend Thomas will go there with you to try his luck in the Imperial capital. Mother and father prepare you for the long journey. Remember, son, there is only one goal for you. You must become a student at the Imperial College. Your teachers dragged you through all those books for a reason. You have the knowledge and fervor to be ennobled by the mantle as I was, and as my late father was before me. And who knows, maybe one day you will be the one to write the name Brante in the blue book and ensure that your children's children will be noble by birth. Then Mother speaks to you carefully. There is worry in her eyes. But Robert, there may be another path for our son. Stefan, your firstborn, was born a noble. He will surely earn the title for the entire Brante family. Your second son bears the favor of the twins. For him, the path of the priest is a worthy calling, no less than a nobleman's sword. They have been arguing about your future for a while now. Still, she would never defy the will of a nobleman and her husband. You smile at them both, trying to placate them. Gloria laughs quietly behind their backs. Just don't become a snoot like Stefan, and you'll do just fine, says Gloria. Mother chides Gloria for that. You wink at your sister. Nathan has been downcast all evening. He barely touched his dinner. When everyone gets up from the table, he suddenly rushes over to embrace you. Please don't go, Jack. Can't you stay? I don't know what I'm going to do without you. You tussle his hair in response. There is no way you can stay now, you say. But when you come home, and you will come home, you'll tell him all your stories and bring him a special present from Eterna. This is it. All your lessons have been learned. All your things have been packed for the road. You will leave the family home tomorrow. Tonight is your last night at home before your departure. You walk through the rooms one last time. The sitting room, where Mother used to read you fairy tales. The library, where Gloria used to spend all her time. Father's study, which you entered only on special occasions. The backyard, where you taught Nathan to build towers one summer. The whole place feels so familiar, so dear to you. It feels like home. You lived here for 16 years. Will you ever return? It is getting late. Everyone is already in their rooms, but you hesitate. Father, Mother, Gloria, Nathan. It will be a long time before you see them again. Who will you spend your last few hours at home with? Okay. We will... You know what we're going to do? We're going to... I think Mother's okay on her own. I think Gloria's okay too. We're going to spend time with our little brother Nathan and assure him everything's going to be all right, and we will be back with stories and gifts. Surely your brother is awake at this hour, or isn't he? Well, hopefully he is. Nathan is already in bed, snoring. You approach your brother quietly and pat him on the head. He is startled, but starts smiling with joy when he realizes it is you. Hi. Hey, can we go outside? I need your help with something. You creep silently downstairs. The air outside is damp, and drops of dew glisten in the night. Nathan drags you towards the bushes. A spotted kitten looks at you from the bushes with sad eyes. You see a bowl of water and some scraps of food next to it. Look, he ran into our yard today. See? He's got a broken paw. We need to save the poor kitten. You pat Nathan on the head. Together you sneak the poor animal into the house and take him to the storage closet. Then you close the closet door and begin the treatment. If anyone is clumsy in your family, it is Nathan. Yet his hands are unusually accurate and calm as he binds the kitten's paw. You start chatting as you treat the kitten, as you think out loud about living in the capital and working towards your goal. Nathan strokes the poor animal's wet fur. He sighs. It's tough for me, you know, thinking about being a grown-up. I'm not much of anything even now. I wish I could be like you. You sure know where you're going and who you're going to be. You shrug. No, I mean it. I can't be like that. They say I'm going to study too, and go to Eterna and become a priest or go to college. But there's no way I can make it there. Does that mean there's nothing else out there for me? You'll be leaving soon, and I'll be all alone here. You'll write to me, I know you will, and you'll come back one day. But I'm scared. I might lose my way when you're not around. You'll come back, but it'll be different. You'll be different. I'll be different too. You swear to Nathan that even if everything changes, you will always be his brother. You will always be there to offer him advice and support, and you have no doubt that he will find his way in life. It just takes time to find yourself, sometimes more than you might expect. The sun is about to rise. You should rest before the long trip, but you're not tired at all. Nevertheless, it is time for bed. Before you leave, Nathan hugs you again. Please promise you'll come back, Jack. You swear to him that you will. You get into bed and fade away into a gentle, happy sleep. They will be waiting for you back here, no matter what. Nathan Brante, yeah, relations are good with my brother, +4. Okay, he'll be fine. He will be fine. Let's continue. Willpower is way up there. Prepared for anything. Can't go any higher. Good. Departure from home, year 1133. You leave the family home for a long time. Your future awaits you in Eterna, the capital of the empire. The end of adolescence. Last night was your final night at home. The carriage is now waiting at the gate, ready to take you to the capital. The clip-clopping of the idle hooves against the cobblestones count the seconds before your departure. You take one more look at your parents' house and recall your childhood spent there, in the nearby yards, at your school, and on the winding streets of Anazat. You clashed with the greater world around you and survived. You felt the tingle of emotion for the first time. You were taught by the school and the streets. You explored the city of your birth and learned something of its past. You witnessed firsthand events that will be remembered by history for all time. All of this is yours now, forever. You saw death, lesser death followed by rebirth, and the true death that takes and never gives back. You saw death lying in wait to strike the unaware, like a beast stalking its prey. You saw grandfather's angry grimace lit by the flickering fire of the lamp, the Archduke's cavalry trampling those who stood in their way, and your older brother's bloodied sword slicing through the air. Death has followed you from a very young age. And yet, you live on. You have a friend who has been by your side all these years. Thomas taught you many things: how to take a hit, how to keep your word, and how to remain true to your own self. And now Thomas is walking to the same carriage as you are, with a heavy bag slung over his shoulder. Your friend will remain your companion for the time being. Ahead of you is a long trip towards the capital and adulthood. For the first time, you will be away from your family and home. What awaits you in the future? End of Chapter 2, Adolescence. You survived your first clashes with the greater world around you and felt the tingle of emotion for the first time. You were taught by the school and the streets. You explored the city of your birth and learned from its tales. You witnessed firsthand the events that will be remembered by history for all time. It is now time for you to leave your family home. Important life events that had happened to you in this chapter. Yeah, that's right. Meeting Thomas, that was an important event. We had our first fight. Yeah, I think he was picking on Nathan, if I remember correctly. Him and his friends were picking on Nathan, I believe. Yeah. Then personal life, school begins. Yeah, but then look at that. We turned out to be best friends. School begins. Then we had revelation of the tree. Oh, that's right, with the tree, yes. Family, grandfather's demise in 1132. And then we had Stephan's disgrace in year 1133. And then the departure from home. Okay, so here we are. Qualities were now noble. Look at that. Our ingenuity, we're bright, okay. Spirituality, we are a searcher, yeah, okay. And willpower, we are prepared for anything. So I guess that's a good thing, being that we're going out into the world for the first time. Deaths, we did die once, unfortunately, so we only have 2 left. So we will continue, and we will continue with the next chapter. We will be going into a new episode. I think this is a good time. We're into it for a little bit over half an hour. I'd actually like to try and keep the chapters down to half an hour, but sometimes I'm getting so much, getting right into it. We'll see. We'll see how it goes. I'm going to definitely work on keeping it under 1 hour, though. So it'll be in between half an hour to 1 hour episodes. With that, I hope you're enjoying the story as much as I am, and I will be back soon.